how did you like the Hellfire Club being shown in this? I feel like that's the first time they had been
It
shown
was
since like the 90s.
it
Especially
was
Celine,
weird.
right?
Yeah,
Don't you
Celine
like
was
her and
nice.
she like magic?
I like the Celine design. I thought she was cute. And I like her. I like her
You liked
design.
her bob, but it was flipped up under like
It
that?
was flipped completely. It was folded completely under. Completely. Okay? Don't get it twisted. It was folded. No, yeah, that was cute. She was cute. I like Leland. The Harry Potter Club was like, I don't like telling me to stand up. Cancel.
I do that all the time. I'm like, not right now. I'm not standing up
It,
right
like,
now.
it
Like,
tells you to stand up in the most inconvenient situations. It's like I can't do that right now. My legs hurt and I'm tired. No, you'll do. I'm like sometimes I put my arm up above my head and that'll work. That's a hack.
oh, I know that was a hack. Appreciate that. What is up, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of Another Relaunch. I am Norn Rad Silver Surfer.
Oh, I am a true noble hero, Jack of Hearts.
Oh,
There's a reason I'm
okay.
that. We're gonna talk about it later. It's very special and kind of sad actually.
Oh no.
Yeah.
Okay. I have no idea what's been going on with him. I don't keep up with him. I like his powers though. I do like his powers. I do think his suit is obnoxious. I'm
He
sorry.
doesn't wear the suit right now anymore. He lost his powers actually.
Oh,
Yeah, that's what's been
he's
going
been
on.
going through it.
Yeah, but he loves it. He's like
Oh, okay,
becoming
good.
a human. It's been a really good time for him.
Okay, that's good. That's good. How are you?
I'm doing better. I'm alive. I was sick early. You might still hear it a little bit. My voice is a little congested still. I had the flu, and it
Okay.
had me down and out, and it was bad. I'm not gonna lie to you. I was like, I thought I wasn't gonna make it at certain points, and I'm a different person. I'm really irritable when I'm sick, and it's kind of frustrating because I can't be that way. You know, friends and family, they're trying to be very supportive. Are you okay? Do you need anything? Do you want me to bring you soup? I hate soup. Stop offering it to me. I don't want to eat it. I can't move. I can't
You hate
breathe.
soup?
I I hate soup. I hate soup.
Why?
I've never
What's wrong with
liked it.
soup?
Like, and it's so frustrating that when you are sick, it's the only thing that you can eat because obviously you don't have like an appetite for anything super big, and a lot of other things you might try. You won't sit down or settle the way you want. So it's like, oh, here's your soup. Get some chicken noodle soup. Get this broth. Get this blah blah. I don't want it. I want a Chipotle burrito, and I can't have that.
Mm, that does sound good.
Exactly. So that was that. But other than that, everyone was very nice, just checking on me and seeing how I was going. But again, I was very irritable. So like while I'm in the message, I'm like, I'm fine, I got my medicine, I got this, I got my Pedialyte, all this stuff in my head. I'm like, if y'all don't stop talking to me, trust me, I have not changed in the last 3 hours. I'm still dead. But we got through it.
Well, happy New Year to you.
Yeah. Yeah.
I hope
That's
we you get this out, right now. Leave it all
we
in
got a few
2020.
hours. It's
Yeah.
we're getting the sickness and the evil. It's all going out the way. We're gonna go into the new year very happy.
Period. That's what we like to hear. Um,
How are you?
I'm good. I've just been, same old, working, trying to
Child,
survive.
another day, another dollar.
Another day, another dollar. All right, y'all. So getting into the updates this week, we didn't have anything going on too much here. No rumors or anything like that going around. I thought about having a rumor report. Maybe we should start going that into the new year. Let us know if you guys like hearing about MCU rumors, hearing about spoilers. I keep my ear to the comic book streets, but I try not.
You got some connections on the low. We don't talk about them. You got your ear to the streets, baby.
Keep my ear to the streets. So we could bring up some rumors and talk about that kind of stuff, do some speculation. I know that can be fun for people. So let us know. But nothing this week. So let's go ahead and take a break and then we'll come right back.
Okay, cool. right, hello, welcome back to the comic section of the show. And this was the last comic pool of 2022. It was kind of sad, but we went out on a really big high note. We had a lot of good books that came out. I know I had a lot of good books that came out this week. But I don't know. You remember how we've been talking about it's been kind of light the last few weeks? I guess everybody just waited till
Hmm.
this last week to bring it on. But I was very
Yeah.
pleased. I'll go through a couple of the hot shots I had. Shang-Chi and the Ten Rings #6. That was the finale of this miniseries that came out. I have really immensely enjoyed it and highly recommend it to everybody. He finally won the championship of all the rings, so he is the master of the Ten Rings, which will be the next series that starts in January. #1, be sure to pick that up. She-Hulk #9 also came out this week. That was a very sad issue. There were some things with Jack of Hearts that happened. I won't spoil them just yet, but I cried a little bit. It was still a good issue. Captain America, Symbol of Truth #8 was out. That continues on the trend of Sam fighting White Wolf. We're gearing up and getting ready to go into the Cold War event, which is going to tie in with the Captain America Sentinel of Liberty books with Steve, which is also really, really good. If anybody's been reading that or not reading it, I recommend checking it out. Dark Web #2 continued that event that's going on. The X-Men were fighting Maddie. It was a nice little issue for Jean and Maddie to kind of like start talking some stuff out. Jean slapped her at the end of it. So
Oh, good for
yeah,
her.
that's I know, right? I was like, come on, girl. She was like, I'm tired of playing this game with you. She slaps her, the issue ends, so we're gonna see where that leads next week. And then Moon Knight #18 came out and it had Hunter's Moon, Mark, and Tigra is still around. She
That's
did what
his
she could
girl. She
do.
gonna be around.
She's apparently around for the long haul. It looks like she is here. They were like fighting together going to the battle. They actually looked cute. The art was great, but lots of hot things that happened. And we'll go ahead and get into the main books of the week, and we'll start out with one. Oh, I didn't even know this came out. Timeless #1. I thought this already happened.
See, you see how you said that? I think they did that on purpose. Because there was a Timeless #1 already, and that came out like a few months ago, or like earlier this year, or like sometime last year.
Yeah.
Um, and this is also called Timeless #1. I think they did that on purpose so that you can say, I think that already happened. It's about time and Kang.
That's the thing that they're trying to go for.
At least that's I'm trying to give them props if that's the marketing. It may not have been. I may have invented that for you. I will accept the check if that
Okay.
is it. Um, but yes, this is a Timeless #1, and this was by Jen McKay and Greg Land, Jay Leisten, Pat Zircher, and Salvador Larroca were on art. And this was similar to the previous Timeless issue, where again we are seeing King the Conqueror and again going out conquering, and he is looking for something called the like missing moment. And supposedly there's going to be this moment in time where when you find it, it'll take you on the path to like the greatest treasure in the world. And Kang finds this alien species, this like really smart guy who knew all about it. He ends up telling Kang like, "Oh, you want to know what the prize is? I'll tell you." And he whispered in his ear, "We don't know what it is." And he was like, "I told you because you'll never know where the missing moment is because I don't know." And I want you to know what the prize is because it's never gonna be for you. You don't deserve it. And of course, Kang kills him and conquers that planet.
Love that.
Like a king. So he's going through trying to figure out like I need to find what this missing moment is. He ends up getting attacked by someone called Mirrodin, which I guess is like Merlin from he like me like maybe the original Merlin. I don't know because he ends up having this like court of round. I thought maybe you might know something about this because it's giving Captain Britain. Um,
I mean,
but
I
like
mean,
King
Betsy did
Arthur
just
has his
kill
own like
Merlin.
round table in this. Okay, maybe this is a different
So,
one because
so I'm
it's
saying
called
like,
Mirrodin. It's like
but so the thing is, when she killed him, she was like, "I know you're not gonna stay dead. I know you're gonna find a way to come back, but I'm gonna kill you now anyway." So this might be his comeback.
okay.
Is that multiverse?
Well,
Is it
no,
still?
because Kang says that he met the real Merlin, like he knows the real one. So he's like, you're not even comparing to like the real one. This is just some version of him through I don't know through time or something. I don't know. They looked cool. He's got a whole like round table. They look cool. There's this one girl called Lancelot, which I thought was really cool. There's Mordred the witch, this like black lady, and she's like looks really cool.
Ooh,
Um,
that sounds kind of high.
Yeah, they were really cool. And they are basically sent out to take out Kang because their leader was like, no, he cannot figure out how to get to the Um, the moment in time, Kang pretty much takes out all of them, the whole round table one by one as they try to attack him, and has, of course, his repartee as he does, where he's reading everybody while he's taking them out, being really snarky. But then, of course, he gets taken down by this like basilisk guy. I think that's how you pronounce his name. But he's got this like nanite armor that ends up taking over Kang's armor. King has to go into like null space to heal himself after Mordred like attacked him. This is the
Okay.
Witch Lady, which I thought was really cool. Um, yeah, it's a really fun issue. Kang again, and he's like being attacked while he's going after the moment in time. He ultimately ends up being killed by, or kind of killed, because he uses time to like heal himself. Y'all know how time travel works.
No, we
It can be
don't
a lot.
actually, because it doesn't make
But
sense very often.
while throughout this issue, while Kang is jumping through time, we get flashes of what is obviously going to be what's coming to the Marvel universe. Previously, in the
Mm,
last Timeless #1, we saw Judgment Day and the Reckoning War and all these other things that were mentioned and done throughout the Marvel universe.
okay.
And here we see a bunch of different things, like something is happening to the X-Men's treehouse, like it's on fire. So
Mm. All of that.
that might be Fall of X. There are a bunch of different things throughout time that we kind of see throughout here that makes you kind of wonder what is going on in the Marvel universe to come. But it does end with the quest for the missing moment continues in 2023 in the Avengers, which makes me feel like Jed
Mm.
McKay might be writing Avengers, which I would
Oh,
love.
I would love that. That would be hot. Oh, Jed McKay
Yeah,
wrote this. That you did say that. Yeah, I might go back and get it then. Did he
yeah,
also
it's
write
really,
the other
really
timeless?
good. Yes, he did.
But it's
That's why
Kang,
I
and I
picked it
love
up.
Kang. I
Yeah.
love
I
Kang.
know. Kang is like the only time travel character I ever really like. He's kind of goated.
Yeah, he's up there.
Really,
Well, that's
I'm really
good to
kind of excited to see him in
Well,
MCU.
that's was there anything like super exciting that jumped out to you and the stuff that you would see for the Marvel Universe future?
It was interesting to see the treehouse burning. Let me see what else I had seen in this that was kind of cool. Um, I mean, that's kind of, I shouldn't have said that it was cool to see the treehouse burning. I thought that that's not cool. But we did see Bishop's War College in here. Um,
Period.
saw something with there's this 777, which I assume is actually Mary Jane getting her jackpot powers. Um,
Spider-Man
I
fans
thought
not
that
gonna
was
like that.
interesting. Yeah. There was also a Carnage, but he was mixed with, it looked like a symbiote, and he was on fire. I don't know.
I don't know nothing about them symbiotes. You know they got one named Bedlam. Time to sue.
Yes, I think I did know that.
Time to
Either
sue.
way, Doom ends up like putting himself into this null space while he has to heal himself because he gets attacked. And there's this person who's like, "Oh, good, I've got Doom out of the way. He's on this chessboard. He's like, I'm gonna make sure I get all of them out of the way." And it's these pieces of like some of my favorite villains, like Doom and Ultron. So someone is playing some master game. So
And
we'll
we
see
gonna
who.
find out
This
in the
feels like
Avengers.
Jen McKay is gonna bring it all together. Yeah.
Okay. I respect that. I'm a Jed McKay fan. I think he's great. What would you rate this issue?
Honestly, I give the issue a 4 out of 5. The writing was fantastic, and I actually didn't mind the land art in here. He didn't use too. There weren't too many women, so he
I was
couldn't
gonna
use the
say
like the
if he
foreign faces.
doesn't if he doesn't have a lot of women, it's fine. It's
Yeah.
serviceable. All right, next up on the list is John Stewart, Emerald Knight #1. I didn't know he had a book coming out.
Yeah, so this is the one shot that pretty much wraps up the previous Green Lantern run by Jeff Thorne, which
Oh,
I read before tapping into this. I wanted to see this issue because it was like an extended issue, and it's John Stewart. Y'all know that's my favorite superhero. And I wanted to see what was going up with him and this whole Emerald Knight thing. And I actually ended up liking the issue. I didn't think it was that bad. Um,
okay.
I think some of the choices in it that were used to kind of move the story along were a little like eyebrow raising where it's like, what?
Mm-hmm.
Whatever. But I guess we can kind of move forward. Again, it feels as though, at least this one shot feels like Thorne was not only wrapping up his run, but kind of showcasing what he would have wanted to do with John in the future. So, for those who are wondering, and I think people should really go back and maybe read it. It's only 12 issues. It wasn't too bad. The Thorne run had John and the other Green Lanterns on Oa because Oa had been accepted into the United Planets. If anyone remembers when we talked about in Action Comics, Superman had just started getting the United Planets together. And of course, I really do enjoy that like ramification was explored further in other books, the cosmic book, where you would expect something like that to continue to be talked about. And Oa was accepted in. So instead of them being Green Lanterns and be like space cops where they were patrolling, now it's an actual planet. And they decommissioned like 1,200 Green Lanterns in those spaces where, because they're now a part of the United Planets, those sectors that now have planets in them from the UP, you can't be a Green Lantern there now. They have their own like police force or whatever they were doing there. So now they kind of restructured the Green Lanterns where they are kind of more like peacekeepers or like Jedi kind of, where they just kind of work for the planet and are kind of superheroes that way. So that would kind of leave them in a flux. Things were going weird. Long story short, of course, the same day that they get accepted, the central main battery explodes and all the Green Lanterns lose their rings. People are dying out in space. John, long story short, like ascended and became like kind of like his next level of his evolution as a person, kind of what it says, and this is what he was meant to be. He previously ascended before, back when he was a Green Lantern. After the whole Zan-Shi thing happened, he like kind of, what's the word I'm looking for? Redeemed himself from that, and he ended up becoming a Guardian. He was like the first human and Green Lantern to ever like ascend to become like a Guardian. Like the Guardians are the little wee people, for those who don't know that.
The little blue guy.
Yeah, and Thorne in this one shot is basically saying that that was always what he was meant to do, was kind of ascend and become like energy or become something more than a Green Lantern. And this kind of shows what he would have done with that. And that is John as the Emerald Knight, where he has his own powers. He's like got this God Storm ability. And to wrap this all up, he basically had this random like new god named Isak, who really wanted to revive all the old gods who like we knew, like Light Ray and all of them. I don't know what happened to all of them, but I guess they all died. And he wanted to revive all of them and like bring everybody back. There was another new god who said, no, we need to like move on. There are new gods now. Like now we're the old gods. And the Isak was not having it. So he was like using something called hyper time, which was introduced and explained in this one shot, which I guess is like, there is the main universe and branches off of universes, but sometimes those branches like loop back in because something happened that may have altered the timeline, but something else happened that kind of brings it back to the main branch. And this Isak guy, I know it's confusing. This Isak guy was like using those hyper time things to like harness all of these like angels and like use their energy to create this celestial. And of course, John Stewart was not having that. He ended up destroying the celestial, but that like made him ascend even more. And because
He said,
right?
You broke the grass ceiling, we can go a little bit higher.
Keep going. And it's interesting too, because in the previous Green Lantern issue before this one shot, when he does ascend, he meets the source. And as people know, the source in the DC universe is like where all of creation like comes from. And when he meets the source, it's Jack Kirby. It's like, yeah, I thought it was cool. He didn't say he call me Jack Kirby.
Yeah.
But it's literally like an energy being that looks just like him, which I thought was really cool, and a nice homage to him. But in this story, John now has these powers. He creates his own Emerald Guard, and he defeats Isak. He like magically or like, I don't know, comic mumbo jumbo used his abilities to ascend Isak and made him the god of nostalgia and was like, since you won't let things go, now you are the new god of nostalgia. And John ended up like using hyper time himself and split into two. And you basically got to see what Jeff Thorne wanted to do with John Stewart had he probably got to have more issues with this run, because John would have become the Emerald Knight, have his own Emerald Guard, and done that whole thing, while the other John Stewart went back and became a Green Lantern, even though he still has his Godstorm powers. So allegedly there was that announced, but then they kind of backtracked it because they said the artist wasn't there. But there's the new Green Lantern John Stewart series coming from Philip Kennedy Johnson, and I'm wondering if it's going to be him like with the ring again, or if it's going to be him with these like Godstorm abilities. And the Godstorm powers, he's basically a lantern without a ring. He can do all the same stuff.
Okay.
He can like sense energy, do that kind of stuff too.
So then there are two John Stewarts currently in continuity right now.
Basically, yes. But
Okay.
the John Stewart who is the Emerald Knight exists off in something called the Dark Sector, which is this like area of space which is branched off from everything else. Like you can't really get there.
That sounds
I
very
know.
decent.
It's very decent. It's a little
I get it.
confusing. And it was like, and again, it felt like he kind of was wrapping up a lot of what he wanted to do, or where he at least wanted to kind of take the character and was like, this is what I would have done and how I would have ended this story. But here's the John Stewart so that anyone can obviously keep him and use him going forward. Put him back with the Green Lanterns.
All right, that's different. Did you like it?
Yeah.
Okay.
I liked it. He ended up actually, one of the things he did in this was while he had these Godstorm powers, he brought back Zhanshi. Well, Isak used Zhanshi because I guess multiple worlds, like there's like 7 of them who are Crux worlds within the DC universe, and Earth is one of them. That's why there are so many lanterns there. That's why Earth has so many superheroes, because it's like a Crux world. And Crux worlds are worlds where, like, if all 7 of them get destroyed, something happens to the universe or something. And of course, to add insult to his past, Zhanshi was supposed to be one of them. So John Stewart, of course, hurt the universe that way, and he brought it back here. So hopefully we never got to talk about that again.
I was about to say,
Other
because I know him blowing up that plane has been like a very big pain point in his career as a comics hero. So
Yeah.
I'm glad that kind of finally got fixed. Isn't it really nice when you get like a full circle moment of a comic storyline that's been going on for years, like decades?
Yes.
And it's like, oh
Yes.
wow, we can finally close this loop now.
He brought it back. And even in this, the Godstorm, John Stewart, the Emerald Knight, he is often the Dark Sector with this new Zhanshi, and allegedly his wife is there. So it's like,
Oh,
I think Thorne wanted to give him the happy ending of bringing Zhanshi back and bring his wife back and doing
look
that.
at that. Okay, well, what would you rate it?
I would give this issue honestly a 3.5 out of 5, maybe like a 3.8.
I mean, that's high for you and Thorne. Okay.
I know. It was wild. I was reading this like, oh, this isn't that bad.
Okay.
Like this.
Okay.
I think it was because he wasn't really trying to be corny with a lot of the language that was being used here. They were out in space. But again, some of the choices were very like convenient and a little too cosmic-y for me and my taste. But ultimately, I think the results of it all were great. John has powers now. He's basically his own lantern without a ring, which is something I've always wanted him to be. So I'm interested to see what he's going to do now going back. I think he's going to be just the Green Lantern because he don't have a ring.
He can't get another name?
I think I would want him to get another name, but people just like being him as Green Lantern. So
that's true. They gonna see it. It might be like one of those kind of situations. Emma Frost, Jean Grey. He could just be John Stewart.
Yeah.
So that works. All right. Well, next up on our list is Action Comics number 1050. This was a big special issue, so it had a couple of people on it. Philip Kennedy Johnson, Tom Taylor, Joshua Williamson were all writing, with Mike Perkins, Clayton Henry, and Nick Dragotta doing some of the art. And as we know, Clark is about, well, not Clark, and but Superman corner in general is about to go into like this big renaissance. He's about to have a few books out. Williamson is going to write Superman. I think Tom Taylor's still going to do
You
some more
said
stuff with
Renaissance. I
John.
instantly said, check my technique. Sorry.
Let's do with the John book, and then Kennedy staying on Action Comics, and we just got a little bit of taste of all the stuff that's coming. I thought this issue was really well done. It starts out, we have at the end of the last issue, we saw Lex Luthor kidnap Manchester Black, and they've got them strapped up in this big machine, amplifying his telepathic abilities over the entire world. And we see like this big energy blast going around. It's not affecting anybody in the Kent household, of course. They're looking for Superman because they're about to have dinner. They can't find him. John uses his powers. I will also say this is probably the first time I've liked John. Since I've been reading him in all the other books. When he saw, oh, Dad's saving this dam out there, he's like, can I actually go and help him? And she was like, yeah, go ahead. And so that was a cute moment. When they get back, Perry White's at the house. And
he's giving a little bit though, like my man, because this man is never like
too far away.
Always by himself. Yeah, he's always by himself.
He is, but you know what? Good for him. Get it where you live, honey. And once all the supers come back, they run into Perry White, who's at the house. He seems kind of confused about like why John's boyfriend is there, why Superman's there. We start seeing him like having a very visceral reaction. He's like getting sick, his nose is bleeding, it looks like he's dying. They rush him off to a hospital. Of course, Superman's like, what's going on? He's like, this like signal goes off, and he knows it's coming from one spot. And I just gotta say real quick, this is where we switched over to some of the Nick Dragotta pages. Him doing Superman, I'm very much into that. Like the whole thing of him taking off his suit into his costume, flying up to Lex, meeting him, Lex just posture when he showed up. I thought that was all well done. Lex is an amazing supervillain and a very nasty man. I thought it was hilarious when Superman first got there. He's like, if it isn't everybody's favorite immigrant, that is not something you should say to a person in their life. Okay? And I just want that to be said. But nonetheless, he lets Clark know, I had Manchester Black. We did this thing. We made everybody forget your identity as Clark Kent, as Superman. If you tell anybody, they'll start to die. Lex is like, you're lucky I let you keep your family. Your son was questionable. This sets Clark off. They start fighting. Lex is like, I know Clark you're not going to do Lex was Clark giving was like, it no, to
what you're not going to do is talk about my son.
As they, start fighting, Lex is telling him, I know you're not going to do anything to like really hurt me, but I'll hurt whoever. He's like kicking stuff. Clark punches him out into the moon, and they start fighting on the moon, which was cool. However, as they were fighting, because Clark was knocking him pretty hard into the surface, and I was like, now what if the moon breaks? This is the problem with superheroes. You can't just be doing stuff like that.
The moon is just an asteroid. You can get another moon.
I don't think that's how that's gonna work.
They can get another one.
If the moon starts breaking apart and fall into the sky, I don't think it's gonna be that simple. But nonetheless, the fight was like really cool. Clark is kind of starting to beat up on Lex a little bit, and he's telling him that you're not going to use me, you're going to not threaten me anymore. Lex is like, whatever. He uses a portal to send Clark away. He thinks he's won. I don't know. Clark does something, and he pops right back up a few seconds later. And he tells
No, I didn't like this part. This part, I was like, relax, Superman.
It was like a lot.
You're too powerful.
Another portal. And he tells Lex, and he's like, I'm not who I was. I've got new abilities. I am stronger. I can move at these distances that you cannot even comprehend, these speeds that you cannot even imagine. You can't stop me. He like touches Lex, and the armor is destroyed. And Lex is like, hold on, don't kill me. And Lex
I was just playing.
He's like, whoa, what's going on now? Clark takes him down. I will say though, I really do appreciate just the attitude, and I've said it before, the attitude that they've given Clark is that, yes, he's this nice Boy Scout guy, but he's not scared of you. And he will beat you up if you need him to. And he knows that you're like someone who can actually handle it. He's going to do it. And he's going to stand up to you. And I thought that was really cool. We get to find out that, this has affected everybody. Nobody remembers that Clark is Superman or John is the other Superman. Only the League knows, his family knows, the other close people to them. And Clark is like, I'm okay with that. I don't know how John's going to react. John is like out in town. Nobody knows who he is. He seems to be having the time of his
He's
life.
loving it.
He's like, yeah, I'm
They spell his
free.
name wrong on his Starbucks. And the gays love a coffee, child. A nice
He's good
coffee.
representation for that brand.
Mm.
Uh,
Mm-hmm.
but overall, I thought like the issue was like really, really well done. We see a lot of the things that are coming up next. Lex is obviously in prison, very upset. We've got something going on there, and just where the stories are going forward to. Now, I'm not going to lie to you. I'm still not 100% if I'm going to follow all of the Superman stories, but all the things that Kennedy is doing over here in Action Comics, I'm here for it.
Absolutely. I don't even know how to really add to that other than the beginning of the story when Manchester Black told Lex Luthor, "Do you want to know what Superman thinks about you?" While I was with him, like in his final hour when he was beaten down and thinking about, he said nothing. All you do is spend millions about him, and he never thinks about you. I was like, oh wow.
like, like they were getting nasty with each other. This is my kind of comic book. I appreciate it a lot, but I'm
Absolutely.
excited. I don't think it's anything bad that I'm ever going to get to say about Action Comics, and I love that.
Mm-hmm. 5 out of 5 from me.
Yeah, for sure. All the artists killed it, but especially Dragotta. Like I've never seen him. I've never imagined him doing a Superman book, but after these few pages, I would definitely read something with him in it. Mhm. And last up on the list is Wonder Woman Historia #3, and that comes from Kelly Sue DeConnick and Nicola Scott. And wow,
It's like every time that we've had a Wonder Woman Historia, you would read off the title and then there's a silence because we are left speechless again.
I don't know. It was so
I don't
much
know what
going
this is
on, and
perfect.
it was so much going on, and just the way that Kelly has built this world of the Amazon, and like obviously we're building off history that has existed in DC before, and like we're taking some things as an adaptation of it, but the way she does it in this way, it just feels good. It
It's
feels
canon
new.
to me.
It feels fresh.
Sorry.
It feels canon. Like Diana was made from the sands of the beach of the clay when the goddesses came down and gave her life, and I thought especially was poignant when Hippolyta, was messing with the gods and meeting with the gods, excuse me, and she's trying to like fight for the Amazons' right to live, and they're talking about, oh, we can do this, and we'll give this person jurisdiction over them for like a night, and Artemis is like, I should get them for this time, and Hippolyta's like, we're people, you can't just do this, and they're like, yes, we can,
Yes, we can.
and they just go about their day, and that's all it is. And I thought it was especially heartbreaking at the point where they're resurrecting all the Amazons and they're talking about, oh, here we go. We are birthed and revived, no consent, no insight into what we want, locked on this island forever, betrayed by our queen. And I was like, ooh,
Mm.
I was like, this is drama.
It is. It
I
is.
would
It
read 100
was
stories, 100 more.
absolutely, absolutely,
You
absolutely.
can't. It's
I
out of
loved
there.
everything about it. Just I had never thought of Themyscira as kind of a cage for these very like glorious women than it being like a paradise island, you know. And I've seen people who were very big fans of Themyscira not really want it to be like called Paradise Island or vice versa. I have to check that out to be for sure. But I think they didn't want it to be called Paradise Island. They wanted to actually be like
Mhm.
a place. And this makes me feel like, yeah, because it is technically not really a paradise. They weren't supposed to like be there. They're being
Yeah,
watched by the gods because they dared to be women and
they wanted to
they dared
live.
to live.
They just wanted to live. They just wanted to have
They
their own
dared to
life.
have freedom.
And they were like, no. And like even like beyond them, just the stuff that Kelly does with the gods and everything. I'm so into it. When Zeus and Hera were going back and forth, first of all, I'm sorry to Hera. She got to stab Zeus. At some point, it's like it's not working no more. The game's just
Yeah.
get to the rut. Pick up your knife.
When he hit her,
Oh my
I was like,
gosh.
oh, he got to go.
The
And
page
they kept the
where it
black
went
guy.
And Aries was like, "Oh, father is mad," and it just zoomed up on the eye. She was like, "Yes, I'm aware." I was like, "Ooh, this is good.
Ooh.
This is good. It was hot. It was
Ooh.
hot. It was so good. It was intense. It was drama filled.
Kelly
Like
was in her bag in this.
the writing has been top tier every single issue. She clear. I would
Truly.
read a series about just her gods of Olympus. I would read a series about her Amazons, and she even made it in a way that it could continue. You know, obviously we saw that the Amazons got locked on Themyscira, but before they all died, there was a few of them that Hippolyta was like, "Get out of here." Go free, go like be alive somewhere else. And I think that's a nice way to lead into how they've mentioned there are other tribes of Amazons, the Esquicitas, Yara, and all those other people, and how they got
Oh
found and
yeah.
expanded. She was thinking. She's a
She was
writer.
thinking.
She's a writer. I love it.
Mm.
5 out of 5. I'd give it a 10 out of 5 if I could.
I
The
think I
art,
am.
the art, the art on everyone has been banging. This one is especially good. Scott is a master at expression. Every time we got a close up on somebody's face, the way she
Truly.
just did the designs, everybody looked good. It was great.
You
I
felt
love when
Hippolyta's pain when they were in war, like,
her sisters
and
were
when she like,
dying.
yes, and even when she was sculpting Diana out of clay and her just like
Mhm.
this yearning, man, I don't know, you really felt it.
You were sad. You were like, my girl. And then again, you read lines like, oh, the Amazons think they were betrayed by her. Like, no, that's not what happened. It kind of is, but it's not what happened.
Now, why can't we? And I also love when they cleared Hercules in the beginning.
Oh, yeah, that was
Yeah,
fun. And I like when
yeah.
Zeus handed Hera his head. She was like, oh, this is the one you named after me.
That was great. She was like the little bastard you named after me. um, I also the colors were fantastic.
It's a comic.
I don't really know what else to say. It's really perfect.
It's
I
rough.
only thing I will say is why can't we have more of this? And why can't the main like books be like this? Why is this always stuff in like one shots or
I feel like a
three
lot
issue
of
minutes?
times, and this is just me personally, and this is not like to slight her because I know how the girls like to be. But I think a lot of Wonder Woman content we get has always focused solely on Diana. And while we get a little bit of the Amazons, it's more so in relation to like Diana and how she sees the Amazons or how they see her. I think in a lot of other things, we started to get more of it recently with Yara, Nubia, Historia. They're really starting to do more of an expansion on the entire group and who those women are as individuals and really build that world up. Whereas before, we just saw them every now and again. I think they're trying because they're realizing Diana can't carry it on her own.
Mm.
And she shouldn't have to.
I'm gonna wake it up right now, and I think that while Action Comics has been fantastic for Superman, um, Detective Comics has also been great for Batman and the Bat Family. They need to go ahead and bring back Sensation Comics and have that be like the Wonder Woman Wonder
Mhm.
Fam book.
And that's the thing. I think even they do try and do some sensation comics every now and again, but again, it's always just more Diana.
Yeah, no. We gotta have this be a rotating family kind of thing. We clearly see that works. Look at Action Comics and Detective
Look at
Comics.
Child of the Amazons was a hit. The
Mm.
girls were girls. I mean, the girls
I
were
think
girls.
that they should bring something like that back for Wonder Woman
I
for
could see
Diana.
it.
She should,
I agree. Well, not necessarily for Diana, but like for the other
but
people
you know,
on
for
the
the
team.
Amazons, that's what I meant. Sorry.
Yeah, yeah,
See,
yeah, yeah.
they got me thinking like that. See,
See, that's how it is. That's how it gets you. But Historia, great. Go get it. Enjoy
perfect.
it. Those were the books of the week.
Yes. All right, let's move over to the AR Club of the week. And this week we finished up Wolverine and the X-Men, as well as we watched the first episode of Justice League Unlimited. Now, tapping into Wolverine and the X-Men. Um, we had episode, I think it was 22. Wait, no, 20. I'm sorry, 23. 23. And this was Shades of Grey. And this was obviously from the title, you can tell that Jean's back. And in this episode, Jean is woken up. She is like starting to remember who she is. Her nurse is being nasty and is like told
Her
the
lips was
MRD to
real
come get her.
nasty. As soon as she found out she was a mutant, she was like, "Oh, get her out of here."
Like as soon as she found out. Um, it was wild. And Emma uses Cerebro to locate her, and they find Jean there. Emma and Scott go to the hospital to try to get Jean to come back, but Archangel comes and attacks them. They're like driving all out in this
It
van,
was
which I thought
so
was
crazy. It was like so crazy watching them like struggle to fight against Archangel. I was like, please be serious.
right. And they end up losing because Archangel
Yes.
takes
That's what really got me. It was like after all of that they lost, and it was like not even just some quick. It was like no real bad loss. Like the car blew up and everything. What's going on?
Yeah, they got a whole like real fight and lost to Archangel. So Archangel takes Scott and Jean and brings them to Mr. Sinister because he wants to take their genetic codes. And he's like, your mutant DNA can unlock something so powerful, like the most powerful thing in the world. And before they can get rid of Jean and Scott after he's gotten the genetic code from them, the X-Men arrive to come and try to save the day. By the end of it, Emma ends up double crossing the X-Men for the Hellfire Club. So they could take Jean unconscious. Now Emma like shows up and everybody like passes out, and it pans over to Jean. Makes you think, oh, was it Jean because her powers are coming back? And no, it was Emma because
She's a nasty lady.
she is, and she was a villain the whole time. And meanwhile, Mr. Sinister gives the Jean and Scott's DNA to his master, Apocalypse.
King.
Yes. Do you like Apocalypse kind of being like the overhead Big Daddy bad for a lot of people?
Yes.
Like who they all kind of answer to. It always seems like in most adaptations, he's like the one behind the shadows, or at least that's the story they give him. Whenever they try to introduce him, that's what they do. Like he is.
He's the final boss. Yes.
Yeah.
I love that. That is exactly how she should feel.
Yeah, I agree. And that's cool. How did you like the Hellfire Club being shown in this? I feel like that's the first time they had been shown in like the 90s, especially Celine. Right?
Yeah, Celine was nice. I like the Celine design. I thought she was cute. I like her.
You liked her bob, but it was flipped up under the
clip. It was flipped completely. It was folded completely under. Completely. Okay? Don't get it twisted. It was folded. No, yeah, that was cute. She was cute. I like Leland. The Hellfire Club was like, I don't like we'll get into that more in the next episode.
Yeah. Okay, so next episode was Foresight. Now, this is a 3-parter where they're wrapping up the end of this. And it's basically like their Phoenix story coming together along with their Hellfire story. Wolverine had figured out that Emma was involved in all of this. He puts her in a cell. And of course, she gets freed by who? Cyclops, because he wants her to help him find Jean. Now, this makes Emma look like such a loser because he is still thinking about this girl to your face. Like, you are like running after him.
That's how their relationship is.
That's wild to me. Well, long story short, we end up finding out that the Hellfire Club has known about the Phoenix Force for a long time, and that they knew that it had possessed Jean, and they wanted to take it out of her. And like Emma wanted to get rid of it, but obviously the Hellfire Club had other plans for it. Meanwhile, Magneto is hatching his own plan to have the human race attack him. He replaced Senator Kelly with Mystique, and told he had Senator Kelly or Mystique Kelly tell them to attack Genosha with the Sentinels that they had, and they were like, we don't have any because you asked us to decommission it. But he was like, I don't care, make more, do it. Go find them. And Professor Xavier gets taken by the Sentinels because they have replicated Cerebro, and they want him to find all the mutants. This is getting interesting because as we move on, this episode was all right. I thought it was more interesting in the next episode when I think it was the next episode when they talk more about the Phoenix Force. How did you feel about the Phoenix Force not being like a cosmic entity and just being something that like is always reborn within telepaths?
So that's what I was actually going to talk about just a few seconds ago. I don't like that backstory at all. Like that whole Hellfire connection and how they talked about it, and it was like this entity. I don't know. And we already know how I feel about the Phoenix. So I'm going to knock that out the window. But I do think that when it comes to the Phoenix saga and just that story in general, there is something really unique about it being more the thing for Jean that she bonds with and makes the sacrifice to take to save the team and like gets the rising out of the water moment and all of that good stuff. I think the way that it's kind of handled here is a little strange, and it does fall into that issue that I think a lot of comic book fans, especially Jean fans, have with the Phoenix and how they feel as though it is this thing that can just be passed around from person to person. Even if it is have this chosen thing, it just takes away that uniqueness. So I wasn't really into that. I think I do prefer the space-ness of it all.
Some Jean fans are of the mind that, you know, Jean is the Phoenix and the Phoenix is Jean. And with this version of it, they are saying that, you know, she had always had it, like, because they explain it like, you know, it afflicts telepaths. It has throughout time, and they have it. They like show this like ancient Egyptian writing and shows like this fire within this young girl, and how it's present at birth within a telepath, and it just grows in power until it's taken over and they become Dark Phoenix and they like burn the world or something. And I don't know. I personally like the cosmic version of it where it's like Jean has to sacrifice herself to absorb this power, and that's how she kind of ascends to become the Phoenix. But I get them trying to do something different. You know, how many times has the Phoenix saga been done?
Things different.
Yeah.
And it shouldn't have made those choices. Was this the episode that Vertigo showed up in? Or was that the next one?
I think that was this episode when they were fighting, because that was wild to me.
That hair? Why were they chopping all the girls' hair off? I don't understand.
And my thing is, why do they give everybody with short hair has the same haircut?
That Iceman, short, spiky Rachel cut.
Future, Lorna. they all got the same cut.
It was really bad.
The short hair on the show was
like, because it was like you already.
It wasn't always like that.
What happened? No, I get it. Yeah, I did not gel with that Vertigo design at all. I did not like that. I like physically recoiled from my TV when she popped up on the screen. I was like, it's too close. I can't deal with that. But yeah, I didn't enjoy that. I do, again, I still like when we kind of like will flash back and forth to the future. I thought that was cute. When Wolverine showed up with his X-23s, that was a camp.
That was really cool. Again, it felt like, I don't remember what the whole landscape for this show was back then, if they were getting canceled or something. They felt like they had to wrap everything up, but it felt like they were bringing it full circle with a Wolverine is at the end of this with Xavier and kind of bringing him back around.
I will say also, I didn't really like too many of the transitions between the various storylines, and like how kind of, you know, we were hitting 3 different points. We had the Magneto stuff on Genosha, we have the future stuff, and then we have the Scott Emma Jean stuff. And the way we were like flipping back and forth sometimes, it always didn't like gel. It was kind of like we could have did that transition a little bit smoother or something like that. But the future stuff was especially great. And speaking of the master mode in the future, I, looking at it now, appreciate that she had a female voice. It gives me more of a vibe. And I thought that was a nice touch.
Oh, that's interesting. I didn't even think about that and bringing it all back to Krakoa. That's kind of cool. I will bring it on up to the next episode, the final one. After we had learned all about the Phoenix and we see in the future Professor X and X-Men have freed Wolverine. He comes back and joined. They're about to fight Master Mold. In the next one, the Sentinels had attacked Genosha in the previous one. In this episode, Magneto had used those Sentinels to take them to New York to attack them back and retaliate. Scarlet Witch had, you know, set her frustrations with that.
She was getting on my nerves.
I thought it was interesting when Quicksilver shows up on Genosha and he's like running around and he's like, "Oh, Wanda, I gotta text you," and she like takes his power from him. I was like, "Look at her
Mhm.
practicing already."
So
Um,
my thing with Wanda was first of all, even before I get to Wanda, the entire kind of characterization plot point of Magneto convince or like tricking the world to have Kelly use Sentinels to come destroy Genosha, and he just kind of stands there and watches it happen. I thought was like horrible. I was like, I don't
that's
know who
wild.
this man is, and I don't know why they would do something like that. I just thought that was like really out of character, even for any type of adaptation. I can understand you could do with like a lot of Magneto's being extreme, but that was just like I don't think he would do that. Um,
Right.
then with him and Wanda, you got her on the side talking about how bad it is, but she's not doing anything to help anybody. She's also just standing there watching the island get destroyed by the Sentinels. And people were like dying. That's one thing I will say about these last few episodes. They were making it very clear that there is collateral damage and these people are dying. And so it was
Truly.
kind of just like a really wild thing to see. But then when we get back to him with the Sentinels and now they're attacking humans again, more people are dying. And then we just go to Jean and the cuckoos in these robes trying to take the Phoenix out of her.
Yes, because the inner circle is now trying to take the Phoenix out of her. They've been kind of successful. Well, Emma said that she can't take the psychic barriers down in Jean's mind that protects the Phoenix
Mhm.
because Professor Xavier put them up and she's not as
Mhm.
powerful as him. So she's like, Jean has to be the one to take them down on her own. They kind of tricked Jean into doing it. And the Cuckoos ended up taking the Phoenix Force and getting their own like Dark Phoenix costumes. And the five of them end up like wreaking havoc on all of, I think they're still in New York. And Emma is like, no, this isn't how everything was supposed to go. Jean wakes up, slams her up against a wall, and was
Uh-huh.
like, no, girl, I've had enough of the talking. um, Scott's like, we got to get up out of here. Emma's like, please let me out. Like, I just want to help you guys. Well, she just want to help you, Scott, which is wild to me
Period.
again. Like, he only want to be with Jean.
He's
Like,
literally with his girl, and you just begging.
it's kind of sad. And they go out, they try to fight this Phoenix Force. Magneto, I guess, like sees it. And I think they got rid of all the Sentinels. He sees it and freaks out and is like, just take me back to Genosha. Like it's over. I did find it interesting though. I like that he was aware of the Phoenix Force. Like, him seeing it, he's like, oh, I know what this is. And he's like, everything is lost. I like that he's knowledgeable about stuff like that.
Mhm.
Um, then the Phoenix Force ends up getting taken and released from the Cuckoos, and Emma ends up taking it in. Then we flash forward into like the Genosha stuff, and Master Mold arrives, starts to attack the X-Men. It's a bunch of them out there, so too many. And who shows up and saves the day?
Cat,
My girl.
she did have a nice fireball. When she came in, she cleared it. She took everybody out. But that short haircut came back, and I was like, yeah, I can't take it too
Yeah.
seriously.
She had her helmet on. She had the helmet on, so it was fine. She kept the helmet on. And she did like really cool like electromagnetic blasts and stuff that I thought was really cool. But back in the past, Magneto goes back on Genosha and he is like no longer welcome there because Wanda like told everybody she's taking authority now of Genosha and sides
I thought that was
the
so funny.
because she cares about mutants. I know.
I thought that was hilarious. I'm not gonna lie to you. I was like, oh, what? I was like, honestly, it was cute for Wanda and it was different for her.
Yeah,
So I was like,
they gave her Lorna storyline.
I mean, Lorna went with her. And I thought it was funny, like when Lorna was walking away, Magneto was like, Lorna, you too? And it's like, sir.
Yeah. Like, yeah, she's always been on your side, but like, come on.
Serious.
Look what you just
But
did.
Pietro's still right behind them. So
Yeah, he's not gonna go too far from Magneto. He always gonna want his daddy's approval.
that was so
Again, I did like seeing the House of M in this, especially them all together. I think this was the best showcasing for that. Um, and then back on in the present time, Emma ends up absorbing the Phoenix Force. She's like,
and
I'm gonna release
explode.
it. to the atmosphere, and then she explodes.
I thought
But then
that
her
was
last words were like,
insane.
"Scott, like, forgive me."
It was sad. It was
While he
not.
was holding on to Jean.
But the most interesting thing to me about this episode was the end. When we like get back and Wolverine is talking to everybody, he's like, "Let's go see the professor." The professor's like, "Oh, you all saved the day. You did great, my X-Men." And here we see all these characters who we ain't never seen before. Storm was there. When was the last time we talked about Storm in one of these episodes?
Storm spoke a total of like 5 times throughout this entire series.
This cartoon,
And that might be generous.
even in the X-Men's final stand, the X-Men were not together.
No.
And I just thought that was crazy. This cartoon was
No,
crazy.
they weren't. No. It was something. I thought that a lot of the choices overall weren't interesting because they were different, at least, like they were trying something different. They, of course, would tap into the 90s nostalgia whenever they could with just bringing certain characters around, keeping Rogue in that costume. But they did try to like change like some designs of characters, which I wasn't really that interested in. And they also changed storylines to kind of, I don't know, not only update some of them, but just fit their own story, just be kind of as original as they could, which I can always commend whenever you're adapting something. You don't always have to follow directly what it was in the comic. You can kind of shift things around. Now, to shift things around so that like Emma could look great, I don't know about all of that, but I would have preferred something that made the X-Men look great. If it should have been Wolverine and the X-Men. It should have just been the X-Men, but
It should have been something else other than what it was. That's all I'll say.
yeah, it was a series. Out of 5, what would you rate that?
Like the entire series altogether,
The entire series.
I can give it a 2.
Damn.
1 point.
I was okay. I gave it a 2.5.
That's nice of you.
I liked when Lorna used her powers. I'm a simp.
You better be.
And Hellion using his powers was cool. I like to
I
pretend
think
that's Sheila.
I think the second half of the series. No, I'm not even going to say that.
Mm. The future episodes are mostly the best ones. Pick those
Whenever
out.
we were in the future with Xavier and Bishop, it was good. And I even think some of the honestly, when the teams were together and fighting together, I thought it was great. Like, because even a few episodes ago when they were showing the past and they had the '05 working together, I thought that was great stuff. I think when we saw the X-Men being X-Men, it was a great cartoon, or it had potential to be a great cartoon. Other than that, I don't think I'll ever watch this again.
I think that really shows us what we can get if we do get a great like X-Men cartoon that is more about the X-Men.
I think it's kind of like what people always say. They just want to see their faves.
Yeah.
That's all.
Yeah. All right. The other episode we watched this week was Justice League Unlimited episode 1. And this episode was called Initiation. Now, we're watching Justice League Unlimited next because HBO Max is taking that off of their service for some reason. So we were like, let's just watch it now while we can. So we just watched this first episode, and then next week we'll watch the next 3 episodes. But this one was Initiation. We open with the Justice League is kind of expanding, and Green Arrow is, doing his thing in wherever he's from. And I think it's Central City, Coast City.
Coast City, I think.
Coast City. And Green Lantern.
Keep talking. I'm about to look it up.
Green Lantern shows up and saves the day easily because he's got powers. So they ended up beaming him up into the new Justice League headquarters, and Superman gives his speech to everyone about how, we can no longer just be solo heroes doing whatever we want out there. We have to be more coordinated. Martian Manhunt is going to be running like the administration of where everyone's going to be going, when and where, and we'll be working together as a team. I will say that I really like that idea for the for a superhero team, for it to be very like a rotating kind of roster where we're more than 7 members. There's like, I don't know, 100 of us, but some missions calls for 5-member squads. Some missions only calls for one person. Um, I think that I prefer that when it comes to like superhero like based teams. Um, what do you think?
Well, before I say that, it is Green Arrow lives in Star City. Coast City is
Star
where
City.
Hal Jordan is from, your other fave.
Right.
As
That's why I
far
knew
as
that.
the
Yeah,
team,
don't do that. Please. Don't do that. I
um,
thought it was because it was destroyed, actually.
as far as your other question, I think it depends on the type of team. I think things like the Justice League, uh, yes, I think that should be a big network because of like what their mandate is and how they operate. That should be like all the heroes. You should have kind of your person who says like, okay, you guys go here, you guys go there. I think when you have a heroes for hire, it worked for them. I think even some of the younger heroes, like a Champions, I remember when Zeb was writing the book, he tried to expand the team and make it a whole bunch of them. I thought that was cool, but I do personally prefer a smaller team. So like, I don't need it all the time.
Mm,
Like for me, a
hmm.
perfect team member is like 6 people, maybe 7.
Well, yeah, I agree. I like a 6-member team. Um, 6 to 8 is great.
8.
And I think that like you could still do that, but with like a big roster, like, just pick six members and that's what the mission is for. Like they gotta do whatever.
Yeah,
And it
see,
can
no, I
last
don't want
for
that
however
though.
long.
I just want like those 6 people
And they're the only members on the team.
and building and like bonding and like creating your energy and things like that. I think just for like specific teams though. Again, if you're gonna do a Justice League, yeah, give me a bunch of different 6 random teams. I think about during the early 2000s where there was that Justice League of America run and McDuffie came on for a couple of issues and the team was Green Lantern, Dr. Light, Vixen, Firestorm, and Zatanna. I like that was a team right there for me. And we only saw them for a couple of issues and then the next Red Tornado came to help them too, which was really cool. But then for the next team it was like Hawkman and Blue Beetle and whoever, just a bunch of different people. I think things like that, yeah, it's cool, it's working. That's the Justice League, that's what they're there for. But if I'm getting like something else, just give me my 6.
So you don't think like the Avengers or the X-Men could do
The
this?
event the Avengers could do it as well. However, I would see it the way I look at it for the Avengers is like the Avengers has all the people, but like the Secret Avengers, they have 6. You see what I'm saying?
Mm.
Because they're not doing the same things.
Can anybody but anybody can't be on the Secret Avengers. It's just those 6. Like
I think
we can have Secret Avengers missions where we're just filling that roster up with 6 people who we need to go do a Secret Avengers mission. We only have a Secret Avengers team, which is just those 6 people.
correct. Because I think when you get, again, it depends on what your mission statement is, though. Because when you start to get into what some of these teams do and what creative teams will have them be about, everybody's not going to do that. So you can't really just have like it an open thing where you can just grab anybody. Think of like an Uncanny X Force Kill Squad. Yes, you got about 10 to 15 X-Men who will surely kill. However, you can't always guarantee those same 10 to 15 people to have the same discernment, the same secrecy, or what does Charles Xavier look for? People who are only going to listen to him. If you're not listening to him, you're not in his inner circle. Yeah, you can go be on any other team you want, but when it comes to this specifically, it's just going to be these 5 people who I know.
Hmm. Interesting. You guys have to let us know what you prefer, a rotating roster or a specific team. I know eventually we kind of run into something you talk about in this series because I think Miss Huntress gets an attitude at some point, and they got to check her. So,
Yeah.
if I recall. But anyway, on this mission, after they get done explaining that, Green Arrow is like, I don't want to be in the Justice League. Like, you guys always forget about the little guy, and I help the little guy. Like, drop me off at home. They said fine, but there was this nuclear like monster attacking. I think they were in Korea, Eastern Asia, um, and uh Martian Manhunter is like, all right, Green Lantern, take Captain Atom and Supergirl with you, and you can drop Green Arrow off like after the mission. Cool. They go over there, do some really cool stuff with their powers. They ended up kind of first not being accepted by the Eastern Asian army that was there. Um, but they, of course, being superheroes, were like, we're here to help. They help a lot of the people fight this monster. Green Arrow like kind of saves the day with this arrow trick thing, which I thought was kind of cool. Captain Atom tries to absorb a bunch of the radiation from the monster. It's too much. He like explodes. I think his suit got like scratched because he is like living energy and only lives in a containment suit.
I feel like
Um,
this cartoon was also like one of the first times I really saw Captain Atom. I feel like he's been around in things I had read or like I had heard about him before, but I didn't know too much about him. And I feel like this was one of the first times I actually was like, oh, he kind of looks cool.
yeah,
So
me
shout out to
too.
that for him.
I think he's got a really cool. Y'all know how I like. He's got my power
Yeah,
that I really like.
he does.
But I think he's like very, very military based. I don't know about that. I don't know if I like him as a character. I think I just like his
I mean,
powers.
you like the
Whoa,
military.
whoa. Okay, maybe. But I think he's like, I think he might be nasty.
I know the one who was his sidekick on the Titans is Bombshell. She
Oh
was a
yeah, I
traitor.
liked her. I liked her.
There you go.
She was cool. Was she nasty?
She was a traitor.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Static ended up joining that team later.
Yeah, so did Lorena Marquez, Aqua Girl. They was beefing actually, because Bombshell had to come back and join the team.
What happened to beefs on teams?
I don't know, child. I don't know.
We saw a lot of them on this episode because Captain Atom and Supergirl were not
Mhm.
getting along that well. Green Arrow, I think at the beginning it was like, Captain Atom, are you living energy? He's like, yes, I'm energy in the suit. And he was like, I think you're like what I used to march against back in college. I thought that was really funny. Um, Later on, after the mission, Green Arrow says again he's not joining the team, like take me home. But then he sees Black Canary. He's like, maybe I got a little time.
That's classic.
Yeah. I really enjoyed this episode. Green Lantern was fantastic in it. Um, Unfortunately, he is bald in this, which makes him look a lot older because, of
Oh,
course, they
John.
don't, they know how to draw black hair, so
Yeah,
just
that's
make him
true.
bald. Um, which gives him this like older man kind of vibe. He's not.
Mhm.
He's a lot younger than them. But whatever. He looks great. He
He
kicked ass in
did.
it.
It
So yeah,
was
that was
good.
great.
I liked the episode. I think it was a fun start, and I think I like the concept of seeing more of the Justice League characters. Who they got a lot. It'll be fun to see them pop up.
Yeah. I think each episode too, they kind of carry over into each other, but like they're still kind of one shots. So um, we'll see more about this as we keep going. All right, but let's go ahead and take a break, and then we'll come right back.
Ooh.
All right, y'all. Welcome back to the relaunch portion of the show. And this week, as we finished up 2022 with a lot of our best comics, we wanted to do a little bit of a shift and talk about some movies this year, some superhero movies. But, you know, um, the distinguished competition that is DC to Marvel didn't really have too many great runnings last year, or too many at all, to be honest. So,
I don't even know if you
um,
can call them like competition anymore,
damn,
let alone distinguished.
damn.
It's not there. And at some point, you got it's I don't know. What are
Hopefully
we
they can
banking it
dust
on right
themselves off
now?
and try
Flash
again.
and Aquaman?
Blue Beetle.
Oh, that should be good. Hopefully
But
they don't spoil it.
Aquaman comes out after Shazam. No, let me take that back. Sorry. Aquaman comes out after The Flash. And
Which
I
is
think The
supposed to
Flash is
reset
supposed to
the
be the,
universe.
yeah.
The movie with that person the first movie they should have canceled. Yeah, it ain't distinguished and it ain't competition.
We supposed to be hyped for Shazam too. Electric Boogaloo? No. But anyway, I found this thread on Twitter that was a like a Marvel award thread, and it was going through all of 2022, discussing the best 2022 MCU moments, movies, actors, and everything like that. So I wanted to go through this with you, and we can pick our picks, and you guys that listening can tell us what you guys would have picked. Um, so hopefully we aren't too controversial with who we end up picking here. But let's get started. So
Okay, I'm excited.
okay, up first is Best 2022 MCU movie. And the
Ooh.
nominees are Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness, Thor Love and Thunder, and Black Panther Wakanda Forever.
Oh, Black Panther.
Black Panther for sure.
Yeah, that was.
Uh,
Yeah, I'll just leave it at that.
yeah, don't think we need to say too much there. All right, up next is Best 2022 MCU show or TV special. The nominees are Ms. Marvel, Moon Knight, She-Hulk, Werewolf by Night, Guardians of the Galaxy Holiday Special.
Oh, I think that's
What-
kind of unfair. I will of the list. I'm picking She-Hulk, but I think that's a little unfair to Werewolf by Night and Guardians of the Galaxy, seeing that they were only special, so they were only one episode.
But they were also an hour and a half long.
Oh, I guess that's true. Well, I'm still gonna give it to She-Hulk. Werewolf by Night is close though. I really did like that.
Okay. I think this is a hard choice for me because I thought
Miss Marvel was
most of
good
these were
too,
just
though.
okay.
Well, Moon Knight was bad. Guardians was bad. Um, but I like Miss Marvel, She-Hulk, and Werewolf by Night a lot. I think
Yeah,
like
I did like those.
of
I
those
didn't
like
love
this
them.
phase.
Like them.
So, I loved She-Hulk. No, I loved Miss Marvel too. Like when her mom gave her suit.
Oh my God. Have we probably got to talk about this? Have you heard about the stuff with the dad on this show?
No, what happened with him?
The dad from Ms. Marvel is probably not gonna be returning for season two. He has some allegations against him for like sexual harassment. Um, like pretty heavy allegations, and like there's text messages, and
What?
the I guess like the girl who he was messaging even showed the wife, and she knew about it the whole time, and the girl's like 15 years old. It's it's wild. Yeah. Everyone out there, go
No.
ahead and do some research into that. But he probably is gonna. Muniba might be
Oh,
getting a divorce. I don't
oh
think
wow, that's crazy. That is damn. I
he may
don't
not be
know.
returned.
Damn, that just kind of like dropped the show in my opinion. It's that's oh wow.
Kind of sad. Yeah. Um,
Okay, well then I guess I'll give it to She-Hulk for sure.
sorry to bring it down there, but want to let everybody know about that too. I guess I would end up picking. I'd give it to She-Hulk. I love that Megan Thee Stallion cameo. That's my girl. And
Winners.
it truly felt like a really good like She-Hulk TV series.
Mhm. I love
So yeah,
it.
I give it to She-Hulk. All right, best lead actor in a 2022 MCU movie. The nominees are Benedict Cumberbatch as Doctor Strange, Tana Huerta as Namor, Christian Bale as Gore, or Chris Hemsworth as Thor.
Definitely not the last one. Um, no more. He's taking
Yeah,
it.
I'm
He's
giving it to
taking
Namor
it.
too. He's
Yeah.
definitely
He
taking it.
he ate that. Everything he
Yeah.
did was good. He had the people. He had me furious in that theater. So he really did
Truly.
that.
Yeah. Um, he gets my vote as well. All right, best lead actress in a 2022 MCU movie. Elizabeth Olsen as the Scarlet Witch, Natalie Portman as the Mighty Thor, Jessica Thompson as Valkyrie, or Letitia Wright as Shuri, the Black Panther.
Ooh, I'm giving it to Shuri, Black Panther. I felt the
Okay,
emotion.
she did. I'm gonna give it to Elizabeth Olsen.
She was good. She
She
did her
was
good
good.
too. She was good.
I gotta give it to her.
She did what she needed to do. Shout out to Wendy. She be working.
She carried that movie, so I gotta give it to her. All right, best supporting actor in a 2022 MCU movie, and the nominees are Taika Waititi as Korg, Russell Crowe as Zeus, Winston Duke as M'Baku, Benedict Wong as Wong, or Chiwetel Ejiofor as Mordo.
That's all the choices.
Yes, Korg, Zeus, M'Baku, Wong, or Mordo.
Oh, I'd give it to M'Baku.
Okay.
When I think of like just like with the heartfelt performance and like putting that energy for, I don't know, Wakanda Forever was kind of good. They might be doing a sweep today. I'm not about to lie to you.
He was great. I'm gonna give it to Winston Duke.
Yeah, he did that. That was a great scene with him and
I'm definitely
Shuri.
gonna
And
give it
just like,
to damn Taika Waititi.
yeah, he's not getting it. Mordo, I barely remember. Wong has been like great comedic relief and support for a lot of titles, but that's really it for me. And who was last? Zeus? I don't even remember Zeus in that movie.
I found his scene annoying because it lasted too long.
Mm.
So next up, we had Best Supporting Actress in a 2022 MCU movie, and the nominees were Rachel McAdams as Christine Palmer, Lupita Nyong'o as Nakia, Angela Bassett as Queen Ramonda. I
Mm.
think you pronounce her name Chato Gomez, America Chavez, and Denai Guerra as Okoye.
Now that's a list right there. Um, you go first. Who you picking?
Oh damn! Don't put me on the
Who you,
spot.
who you picking? Who you picking?
Ooh, I gotta give it to Angela. I'm sorry.
Yeah,
Like,
she took it. The speech when she just talked about have I not given everything just in the
ooh,
whole, but Okoye was also really giving it like with the whole, I'm heartbroken and no, Angela's taking it. She performed her
yeah,
ass off in that movie. She did it. It's hers.
yeah. Okoye
Academy
was also
Award.
great. When they talk about her ashy hair, I thought that was funny. And and of course, like you said, her when she was crying about like, I have been such a great general to my country.
Yeah,
Like that was very emotional.
yeah.
I'm gonna give it
But
to Angela.
yeah, I was gonna say Angie's still taking it. Sorry.
Yeah. Best ensemble cast: Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness, Thor: Love and Thunder, Ms. Marvel, She-Hulk, or Black Panther: Wakanda Forever.
Ensemble cast.
Mm-hmm.
See, I kind of wish you wouldn't have just told me that about the dad from Miss Marvel because that was a really good ensemble cast too. But that really just ruins it for me.
The dad kind of ruins it.
But it's still Wakanda
Mm.
Forever.
T. I. I was gonna say I'm giving it to Wakanda Forever.
I'm just
Sorry.
so sorry.
Okay, best new hero: Ironheart, Ms. Marvel, The Mighty Thor, Moon Knight, or She-Hulk.
Oh, Miss Marvel.
Okay.
She
I'm
she. I was not here for Kamala, excuse me. And I know there's been a lot of controversy with the power switch and all of that stuff that's been going on with her, but that little girl, she sold me on that show.
I've
And I'm
seen
a fan
people
of the
even
power.
recently asking for her to get those powers in
The comics?
the MCU. Yeah. I'm sorry,
Yeah,
in comics.
I'm one of them. I advocated.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Give her. Um, she was the Ironheart was great. She made her impact, but I just think Kamala, she did it for me this year.
Yeah. I'm gonna give it to my Chicago sister Ironheart. Got
Yeah.
to. She was fantastic. Okay, best villain: the Scarlet Witch, Gore, Namor, the Clandestines, or Arthur Harrow.
Mm, Namor. Only because I feel like his wins were greater losses for the protagonist.
Mm. And that does make a great villain.
That makes a fantastic villain. He killed Shuri
That
Mama.
does. He did. He did. Wanda, did she kill anybody
I'm
important?
sure. I'm sure she killed a lot of people.
I mean, important.
Oh. Um. No.
No. Yeah. So yeah, I'm giving it to Namor. I'm giving it to Namor.
He deserved.
Um. mhm. Okay. Best post-credit scene: the
Ooh.
unexpected visitor, Clea from Multiverse of Madness, Hercules' introduction in Thor: Love and Thunder, Shuri meeting her nephew in Wakanda Forever, Ms. Marvel and Captain Marvel swapping places, or Megan the Stallion dancing with She-Hulk.
Damn, there was some good post credit scenes though. Say what you want about the phase, post credit scenes are hitting. Um, I think of the. I'm sorry, I'm just gonna be like a true fanboy right now. I'm picking the Cleo one.
That's
I
fair.
think I think a lot of those were really really good, but Cleo like that was the one I'll never forget. Like, and everyone was telling me before the movie, they're like, "Oh, you're gonna love the post credit scene. You're gonna love the post credit scene." I was like, "I don't know what y'all talking about." Yeah, I was sitting in that movie with my jaw hit the floor. I was loving it,
2022 saw the activation of your Clea Stan card.
and we loved it.
Yes. I think I am going to go with. Mm, ooh.
Mm.
Okay, honestly, I'm going to go with the Ms. Marvel and Captain Marvel swapping places. It was between that and Megan the Stallion. Megan, my
Megan was
girl,
like,
and I went up
yeah,
for them twerking. I loved that
yeah,
moment.
that was a
Um,
great moment.
but the Ms. Marvel and Captain Marvel swapping places instantly makes me go to Operation Galactic Storm, and that means we going cosmic.
I really
So
hope
I'm
we
there for
get this event in the MCU
so I
because
can shut up. Yes, I stopped begging for it. Okay, favorite cameo: Professor X in Multiverse of Madness, Killmonger in Wakanda Forever, Captain Marvel in Ms. Marvel, or Megan Thee Stallion in She-Hulk.
oh, Megan the Stallion and She-Hulk.
Yeah, Megan cleared.
Though shout out
Um,
to my father Xavier, he was up there as well. But it
yeah,
represents a
I
time that I
didn't
don't
really
look to.
to come back. I'm glad we did it so that we got it out of the way,
Mm-hmm.
uh, so that people don't keep asking. But again, Megan cleared.
Yeah.
Okay, best fight: Okoye versus the Talokans, I'm sorry, Wanda versus the Illuminati,
Mm-hmm.
the Shadow Realm fight in Thor: Love and Thunder, Black Panther versus Namor, or Doctor Strange versus Sinister Strange.
Oh, Okoye versus the Talikans
Yeah.
for sure. On that bridge, that's a warrior woman right there. What did Atuma say? Warrior. Like, what's up? They fought,
Yeah.
they went down. Again, I still stand by the fact that they tried to like not give my sister her wins about all of a sudden having those Talikans regenerate and come back to life, and we saw a bunch of other ones die. But we know, had they not been playing, she cleared it
And she said it herself. She said, I struck them and killed them.
down.
So, regardless if they healed or not, she took them out. So, I'm definitely giving it to Okoye. And honestly, there were some pretty solid, like, I guess, fights this year within the
Mhm.
MCU. It looks like a lot of them were in Doctor Strange and Wakanda Forever. But
Oh, sorry, Thor.
they were there. Okay, best costume: Scarlet Witch, Doctor Strange, Black Panther, Namor, or Ms. Marvel.
I'm gonna give this one as Marvel too. I thought that was like a
Same
really great
too.
iteration of the suit. Like the one she made, the one her mom gave, like everything. I thought it was dope. Really good stuff there.
Yeah, I'm definitely giving it to Ms. Marvel. Her suit was pretty perfect. I thought it was great for her. Okay, best score: um, Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness, Thor: Love and Thunder, Ms. Marvel, Werewolf by Night, or Black Panther.
Ooh, Werewolf by Night. And I say
I
that
was gonna say I think them
specifically.
too.
I want to say that specifically because I remember after I watched Werewolf by Night, I immediately went to the Apple Music store, like downloaded the soundtrack so I could listen to this. I like to listen to musical scores in the gym sometimes, and I was like, oh yeah, I want to give this a shot. I remember being really blown away by the music. Great stuff, hands down.
Yeah, yeah, definitely picking Werewolf by Night there too as well. This next one. Ooh. Best visual effects.
Oh, please.
Doctor Strange and the most Doctor Strange and the Multiverse of Madness, Thor: Love and Thunder, Black Panther: Wakanda Forever, She-Hulk, or Ms. Marvel. Um, um,
It's like
hmm.
what? um, say them for me one more time, please.
Doctor Strange and the Multiverse of Madness, Thor: Love and Thunder, Black Panther: Wakanda Forever, She-Hulk, or Ms. Marvel.
Marvel CGI is something different.
It's not She-Hulk. I'm sorry.
Okay, that was not necessary.
I'm sorry. It wasn't
I would
bad though.
I would say of the for me, honestly, it's down to Multiverse of Madness or Wakanda Forever. And I'm only leaning more towards Multiverse of Madness just because I'm thinking about the things that they did with their CGI in the movie. Like
Hmm.
Wanda when she was fighting all those little demon things. did you did you ever see the meme? It's like it's showing that clip and it's saying this is Wanda defending a bunch of like random gays calling her mother.
I have seen that meme and it killed me because you can see it. Mother.
So I thought that was good. And then like stuff of her where she was coming from the mirror dimension and coming out. Strange, obviously, Sinister Strange fighting, the musical fight I thought was cool. But again, I think of Black Panther Wakanda Forever, the Pelicans looked great. Um I think I'll just go with Multiverse of Madness. I'll let them have their things.
Yeah,
Magic does what it needs to do.
I'm gonna give it there. The visuals for Magic are great, and that's also my pick. While Wakanda Forever was great, a lot of their scenes were in the dark, so I want to give it to Doctor Strange since their CGI effects were like in the daytime, so you can
Mhm.
kind of really see these
Yeah.
stuff. So that probably takes a lot more like effort to do to make it look good. So I'm going to definitely give it to them.
Okay.
All right, most anticipated movie of 2023: The Marvels, Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3, Ant-Man and the Wasp, Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse. And these are just Marvel movies, not MCU, because obviously Spider-Man.
Of that list, oh, Spider Verse by far, 100%.
Yeah, definitely Spider-Verse.
Spider Man 2099, Miguel, Black Jessica Drew. I'm there.
I'm there for Miles. I
Oh
honestly,
yeah, him too. He's cool.
I think I'm definitely going to give it to them. Yeah. Honestly, I'm also excited for Ant-Man and the Wasp. I'm excited to see Kang.
I was gonna say I'm excited for Kang. I don't know if I'm necessarily excited for the entire movie though.
I'm also excited for the Marvels. I'm excited to see Photon and Captain Marvel. I'm excited to see like what their beef was and learn more about that.
I'm excited to see if the rumors of Blue Marvel being in that movie are true.
What are you gonna do if he isn't? Will you be upset?
Yes.
That's fair. That's fair. I've always wondered how they would introduce him, and I think he's in that. So we'll see. It's getting closer.
It is apparently.
Now, most anticipated Marvel show in 2023: Loki season 2, Secret Invasion, Agatha Coven of Chaos, Ironheart, or Echo.
Ugh, that's so tough for me. It's a tough call between Secret Invasion and Echo. Um, I think both are going to deliver something really great. I don't know. I just feel it in my heart, and I think they're both going to give me like some cameos that I'm really excited for. I do truly think that Miss Daisy Johnson from Agents of Shield is going to show up in Secret Invasion, and I'm sure we'll probably get some Daredevil action in Echo at some point, and maybe even like new versions of Typhoid Mary or something. I don't know. You know, she's dealing with Kingpin, so we might see some stuff there. But uh, one of those two. I don't know. It's kind. It's a tie. I'm sorry. I can't do it. It's definitely not Loki though.
Hmm. I am going to give it to Secret Invasion. I'm not really into like all the spy espionage stuff outside of them just being cool, you know. But let me stop lying. Yes, I do.
I was just sitting here. I was like, okay.
That's a lie. Yes, I do. Yes, I do. I definitely do. Um, I think also Secret Invasion is the cool spy stuff mixed with cosmic aliens. So I'm interested in that. Um,
And I'm interested
definitely
to see
Secret.
kind of like how they play it into everything else that's we've already seen in the Marvel universe and like the MCU before. And are we gonna like get some people coming back this way because we'll find out they've been replaced by scrolls beforehand? Is it gonna fall kind of more in line with what the new Secret Invasion comic is doing?
I think that lady is a scroll.
Which one?
Um, Sharon. Wait, is her name Sharon?
Carter?
Yes.
Blonde?
Yes. Yes, Sharon. I was thinking that Peggy's name was Sharon, but no, I'm thinking of Sharon. I
Mm,
think she's a scroll
you
because
think
she had
she's
a
scroll?
really
And that's why
like
she's the power broker now from
yeah.
the I could see that. Like that's where this weird shift comes from because she's somebody different.
Mm-hmm. And this power book
Or
thing is her like just doing more scroll stuff because scrolls are, you know,
do you
they've got
think
their
she'll
own things.
kind of be the place of Spider Woman in the original Secret Invasion storyline then?
Yes.
Mm, I can see that. Um, I like Sharon, but whatever. If she gotta go, she gotta go. So
Sometimes it's people's time when it's time.
yeah.
Um, all right, y'all. So that is the end of that little fun section there. Let us know what you guys picked as far as these awards went and who your favorites were for as far as the MCU goes in 2022, and what you are anticipating for 2023. Well, that brings us to the end of the show. Please make sure you rate and subscribe us wherever you get your podcast. You can follow us on Twitter and Instagram at Another Relaunch. You can, I'm going to be more active on the Instagram. I will.
It's another dead app. All the apps are dying. We gotta come up with something
Yeah. Until then, you can watch us on
new.
YouTube and Another Relaunch TV. You can email us whatever you guys want at anotherrelaunch@gmail.com. You can find me on most social media platforms at UncannyLZ. Keenan, where can they find you?
You guys know you can find me on Twitter and Instagram at Keenan Lance. As always, there's an underscore at the end. Everybody, you have a fantastic, safe, and happy new year. We shall see you in
Yeah.
2023.
See you guys next year.
Peace.
Peace out.